Jon Jones confirms plan to retire after Stipe Miocic fight unless Francis Ngannou returns to the UFC. This was posted today at 7:35 a.m. Not really a surprise, man, if I'm being honest. I mean, Jon Jones kind of alluded to this a while back in April. He said on Twitter, "How cool would it be to spend my retirement fight dominating the greatest heavyweight of all time in my home state at Madison Square Garden," right? He kind of talked about this, and it looks like it is pretty much confirmed that is exactly what's going to happen. Right there it says, Jon Jones doesn't intend on sticking around after facing Stipe, but one fight could change his mind. Right now, my goal is to have one more big fight against Stipe Miocic, Madison Square Garden, and then kind of hang it up from there, Jones told Fox Sports Australia. Jon has been doing some media over there. He says, "I think the Stipe fight will be plenty for me. I feel like I don't really have much to prove after beating Stipe Miocic. I've been in the game a long time, and in fighter years, I'm an old guy. I've been training for a long time. I've been in the game for a long time and got some small injuries. I just really want to be around." He continues, "I want to be around for my family, be around for my kids. I want to be able to play with my kids and have a good head on my shoulders and have joints that work so I can see it coming to an end really soon. And I'm happy with that. I'm really proud of my career." Jon Jones has had a really good career. I mean, minus all the craziness. Like, if we stripped all that and we just focused on his fighting career, you just focused on who Jon Jones has fought, who Jones has defeated, his accomplishments inside of the octagon, whether you believe all of that should be thrown in the trash because of his failed tests or not. I mean, it really all depends on you guys. I think with Jon Jones, history is going to decide how Jon Jones is looked at, right? 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when you think back to the name Jon Jones, are we going to be looking at Jon Jones the way that we look at someone like, say, Mike Tyson, right? Are we going to remember him for mostly good? Or is he going to be remembered mostly for all the, not so good things he did in his career? That's going to be up to history. It's going to be up to the way his story is written. It's going to be up to what people remember about him in the future, what stories are passed down about Jon Jones. If I had to guess, I think a vast majority of his story is going to be on his dominance in the octagon, his fight resume, the people he defeated, his accomplishments in there. I think that's what a large part of his history is going to be around, because there's quite a few of them. When you take a look at all the incredible champions in the UFC, guys like GSP, Jose Aldo, the Cain Velasquez, DC, no one out of all those guys has defeated as many champions as Jon Jones. GSP coming in at a close second. So I think getting one more in Stipe Miocic, defeating the greatest heavyweight of all time, someone like Stipe who has accomplished more than any other heavyweight, I think that is definitely going to solidify that legacy for Jon Jones. Again, unless you're the type that says, hey, if you failed a single drug test, it should disqualify you from even being considered GOAT. That's completely understandable. It is up to you to make that decision. That said, though, according to Jon Jones, even though he will be retiring after facing Stipe, there is only one man that can bring him out of retirement. And no, that is not Sergey Pavlovich. That is Francis Ngannou. And he explains why. He says, I do believe a Francis Ngannou fight will be worth entertaining, not retiring. I think a Francis fight would come with some serious revenue, and that would make it worth my while. Francis is a former champion. He's pretty damn popular here in America and across the world. It would bring in a lot of money, and for that, I would be willing to come back. Everyone is talking about Sergey, and Sergey is a huge challenge, but no one knows who he is, all right? You can tell that with Jon Jones, this has been very consistent throughout his career. He takes a lot of pride in beating big names, but most importantly, champions. He really takes a lot of pride in that, and I understand that. You can tell that's where, like, the two places that Jon Jones really places a high amount of worth when it comes to his legacy is his championship defenses, how many titles he's won, as well as how many champions he's defeated. He really takes pride in beating champions, which is a big reason why he wants to fight Stipe in the first place. And it's a big reason why he says Francis would definitely get him to not retire. Not just that. Francis he's a huge name for sure. He's a big name in MMA. He's a dangerous guy. And he's a former champion. And I think he and Jon Jones would absolutely do big business. They have a history. They've kind of talked shit about each other. And it is definitely an interesting matchup. It's a very fun matchup to see. Of course, Sergey Pavlovich is someone that's coming up right now. Someone that is very dominant, a powerful man, fast. Someone that physically matches up very well with Jon Jones as well. And a younger guy. So I see why I definitely would want to see that for sure. I'd want to see Jon Jones versus Sergey Pavlovich. But according to Jon, in his mind, it's just not really worth the risk. And I understand why as well. Jon continues, in the grand scheme of things, no one knows who he is, in referring to Sergey Pavlovich. I think Luke Thomas said it best, saying, high risk, very low reward, where you could fight a guy like Francis Ngannou and get the whole world talking. It would be worth the risk, worth the money, all of it. So who knows? Maybe the UFC will come up with the right numbers and we can make the Sergey thing happen. But as of right now, I got all the accolades, nothing really to prove. I think a Francis fight will get me really excited to maybe keep going. Yeah, so Sergey Pavlovich, I mean, is it really going to be a big fight against Jon Jones? Who knows? I personally don't really think so. A lot of people don't really know him. And I know that in the world of MMA, right? In the world of like hardcore fans, like we all know how dangerous Sergey Pavlovich is, but like, does everyone else really know, considering when you hear the name Jon Jones, a guy that just literally stopped Cyril Gane in record time? Are people really going to be excited? A vast majority of people, are they really going to be excited to see him fight Sergey Pavlovich? Like I said, I'd love to see it, right? I'd love to see it. I think Jon beats him. I really do. I'm not the type of person that does this thing that a lot of fans do, where when there's a new guy that's like a challenger, he gets hyped beyond belief. And then when he loses, oh, he sucked all along. That's what you guys are doing right now with Cyril Gane. And it's not fair. It's not fair. I've seen that over and over and over again. Like right now, people are really trying to downplay the skill of Cyril Gane. People are saying, like, I've seen this so much on Twitter, like, oh, Jon is running away from Sergey Pavlovich, the real challenge. He just defeated bum Cyril Gane. He's about to fight 50-year-old Stipe Miocic. He should be fighting the real challenge, Sergey Pavlovich. But if Jon goes out there right now and blows him out the water, it's going to be, well, you know, Sergey wasn't that good anyways. Who did he fight? Who did Sergey Pavlovich beat anyways? I mean, the guy that got ground and pound by Alistair Overeem, did we really think he had a chance versus Jon Jones? That's the story. That's what everyone's going to say. You know it. So let's all be objective. Sergey Pavlovich is a challenge. He's a dangerous guy. And it would be a fun fight to see versus Jon Jones. But if your name is Jon Jones and you've done all the things that Jon has done, and you're as old as he is in the fight game, and you've positioned yourself where he has, it is a big risk with very little reward. Like if he beats Sergey Pavlovich, like what does that really do for his legacy in the long run, right? In the long run, it's going to be Jon Jones defeated all these champions, including the greatest heavyweight champion we've ever seen in Stipe Miocic. That's what the history books will say. No one's going to talk about how old Stipe was or any of that stuff. It's going to be he defeated the great. So he's playing it smart. He's trying to look out for his legacy, and I don't mind it. I don't mind it. So yeah, that is the story. You know, Jon typically says one thing, does the other. So who knows, man? He signed an 8-fight deal. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, it's looking like we're going to see Jon Jones one more time against Stipe, and that'll be the end of it. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think about this news. If you guys have any thoughts, let me know. And I'll see you guys later today. Peace out.